Well, okay, the backdrop will be the noise is radio signals. That's a good example of the energy slash mass that's being moved through space at all times. That's just that's the events of mass transformation, transmigration of mass in space. Okay, what we're going to be talking about right now, we've been skirting around the image, and I guess we really need to touch about it, and that's infinity, what it is and how it would apply and to spin theory, to the structure of our solar system, structure of the universe. We've been kind of dancing around it because it's a touchy topic. Good example would be people who study, say, paleontology, study anthropology, study events and look for reasons, such as Darwinian theory looks for a reason for an event. Now, I'm not going to try and promote chaos theory, although I kind of agree with it in its approach. It's pretty much online there. But what I'm trying to say here, there is no reason. All reason is negated. It's our terminology is failing us there. In an infinite universe, if we take this to be, if you take this as part of your approach to understanding the universe, if we say that that mass is indestructible, atoms, electrons, neutrons, all of this stuff is indestructible and is infinite. And we understand, we take the idea that the universe therefore must be infinite. The mere fact that you philosophically accept that would mean that you don't look for reasons. What we're looking for is not a reason for something to happen. What we're looking for is to describe the events that precede and follow a certain mechanical event in our universe. We're actually looking for set rules of the way mass interreacts, how it becomes energy and how it becomes energy becomes mass, mass energy. We're looking to understand how this event that must be very simple but complex because we don't seem to understand it, how it can exist in an infinite universe, how this event can go on infinitely. That is, no ending, no starting. And that's a pretty heady thing, infinity. But if you accept infinity and you accept this approach, then you must discard the belief that we can find reason and that we can find cause and effect. There are no causes and effect. Not in the big picture, so to speak. The farming of the sun has no value. It's just formed. It's just there. And the reason it is there is because it can be there. A life appears on Earth not because a certain event took place, not because life can form anywhere, at any time. Man, what we are right here has always been. We can always be. Now, I'm not saying that we're not made in the image of God. What I'm saying is, in that God, whoever, what religious background you may feel comfortable with, did not create something. But the whole idea of infinity is that he didn't have to create anything. And he was already here. He was already created. And we have already been created. He may recreate. There may be, and because our language may fail us, we may need to look into that. But as far as the hand of God in anything, it doesn't have to be there. It may be there, but it doesn't have to. Life begat on the earth because it can begat on the earth. The formula, the mode, the modendum, the events are going to take place. Atoms can do that. They can form life, and they can unform life. So when we look to understand, I mean, this is going to destroy a whole bunch of people in a whole bunch of universities with a whole bunch of titles. And it's not to say that they don't have value. It's just to say that these events do not need reason. Events are events. They're going to take place. Us sitting around trying to figure out why man walked on two legs or scratches his ass or has hair on or off the top of his head or on his palms of his hands, he has it because it can be done. It's been done. It's the way it's always been done. It's infinite. So we may look for particular events taking place, one thing leading to a next, but it's going to get us, like Darwinian theory, into a circle because we put values on these things, and the value system is wrong. And our value system is wrong. What I'm trying to say here is that the way we evaluate, we can be wrong. And if we think that there is a higher plane, that mankind is a higher plane and angels would be higher than us, well, that's ridiculous. There's just life and death. They're just atoms, and these atoms can at any time can form a fly. True, there are certain steps we're going to view, and maybe that's where all these people with doctorals and everything can come into, and we may better understand those steps. But you don't need anything in infinity. But you have to first come to the conclusion: do you accept infinity? Do you believe that mass is mass? It's always been here. And if it has, then God's always been here, if you want to look at it like that. And we have always been here. And we may be in the image of God. And God may have had something to do with us at this particular time. But it wasn't necessary. Life exists in other areas of the universe. Sure it does. We're not unique. The sun is not unique. There are billions of suns. There's suns out there we can't even see. So, and much of what we see is already dead. The mass that emitted that energy is already burned out and gone. So what we're trying to do, we're going to try and get to the understanding of infinity and how dramatic the belief in that is going to shape one's overall ability to comprehend the workings of the universe. I'm going to do this 3 different ways, and we'll see how each one works. The infinity thing is probably where we're all going anyway. And the reason we even talk about any of this stuff, and why astrologers have kept for infinitum records of the heavens, is we're afraid of death. And we will always be afraid of death, especially as we become sentient human beings. And that's driven that, and that's why we place values on things. But besides the fear of death, we're going to try and get into this and just understand the workings, the nature of the structure. I know that probably didn't do it, but let's see what our time is.